Hey, welcome to Frunk is Duck with your beer buddies. I'm Shez, this is Phil, and today we're talking Orval or Orval, we're not entirely sure. So Phil, tell me about Orval.
Orval is a trappist beer.
It's a trap!
It is a trap.
Ist.
It's from Belgium, and it is a 7% beer, best served at 12 to 14 degrees Celsius, and it's depicted as an ale.
Alright, so you've mentioned something called trappist.
Yes.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, trappist is when a beer is brewed by monks or in a monastery?
You would be correct. And the biggest export of trappist beers are from Belgium.
Those damn god-worshipping Belgians. If you're in Belgium, thanks for the beer and nothing else.
They also come out with probably some of the most expensive beers, as we've had before. West
Probably why we're poor.
Yes.
All right.
I'm not usually the one that pays for this stuff, but I'm sponsored.
Wait, is this going for me? So there's 4 or 5 things to go over when discussing a beer. First is head.
The head of the beer can usually be, if you're checking it off, be known for, if it's feathery, for IPAs, ales, and lagers. If it's thick, it's more of a porter or a stout.
So tell me about this head right here.
This is a very feathery head. It doesn't linger that much. You can see how it sort of divots in a little bit. And, you know, just think to a Guinness, how thick the head is of a Guinness, and that's sort of your point for stouts and porters.
Okay, so Phil, beer could be several things. It could be stout, it could be ale, it could be lager, it could be Trappist, it could be porter. Now, what does the head tell us what this is or what it isn't?
It tells us that this is either a Trappist, ale, like a Trappist, so Trappist, ale, IPA, or lager. It cannot be a porter or a stout very easily with this kind of head.
Okay, so second thing after head is aroma. Now, smell the beer, Phil.
Alright, I will smell the beer.
Yeah, you fucking do that.
Now, that smell is actually very light. The amount of smell is usually directly proportional to the amount of hops that are in the drink. This does not have a strong aroma.
Yeah, so it must be minimal hops, maybe.
Minimal hops, it would not be an IPA in most cases, in
okay.
the most likely case.
So not a porter, we just discussed not an IPA.
Not a stout.
Not a stout.
Yeah.
Now, leading from stout, the color of the beer. Most stouts I know are dark. Like you could think
black.
Yeah,
you
black.
Can't see through it. You cannot see
think
through
Guinness. Think
just porters in general.
Yeah, just porters in general.
It burns so much, you just can't see through it. Like think of chard. Like that's what it is. It's dark. You can't see through it.
So color. It's got a copper tone to it. Auburn, maybe amber, but not an amber ale.
Yes, it is not an amber ale.
And
that's somewhere between. Actually, no, you wouldn't have excluded amber at this point. It's somewhere between lager and ale, so it could still be there.
What gives it the nice copper color?
That depends on the ingredients that you're putting in and the amount of time that you're cooking those ingredients. So since it's dark coppery, it means that it's probably not your regular lager, but it could be a strong lager, an ale, a strong ale, or an amber ale.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing like any of the beers they can see through. I mean, it's not like Canadian or Corona or anything like that.
Unless you're having lagers from different countries, but it's less about if you can see through it, but it's about the color. As you know, Belgians sometimes don't filter their beer, and that's a whole other story, and you can't see through them in that case, but they are still yellow because they're wheat beer.
So we've covered head,
aroma,
aroma, color, taste.
Taste.
Yeah, let's have a taste. Cheers. Or Belgium. The hell's Belgium? Sláinte? Close enough.
Close enough. Ganpai.
Totemo oishii.
Now, either this is the most bitter lager I've ever had, or I'm going to classify this as an ale.
It's probably an ale.
It is probably, in fact, I'm going to actually use the professional's view.
Using your eyes and such? Now, would you look at that? It's right there, we're being sciencey all along. Right there. Trappist strong ale. Now, here's something that I noticed from the taste. It's maybe cardamom, maybe maybe ginger spice, something along those lines. Something fall beer-like. Most fall beers will have a pumpkin spice, ginger spice, cardamom type feeling. Even a little bit of apple. Like, you might be able to taste some apple in some fall beers. This is really strong, really bitter, so it's halfway between fall, creeping into winter beers. Yeah. Similar things you'll find in definite winter beers. Like Guinness stouts are mostly winter beers. Coffee porters.
They warm you. They make you. They fill you up. They make you feel like you're prepared for winter, like you're gonna hibernate.
They make you frunk as duck.
What?
Yeah, there we go.
I classify it mainly as a winter beer, just because high percentage beers I save for winter, especially drinking.
Did we talk about the percent here? All right, can you see it? Right there, it says 6.9%. Now, most Canadian beers be something along the line to 4 or 5%, somewhere around that. Now, 6.9, is that common amongst the Belgians? Are they a bunch of drunk fucks? Frunk ducks? Are they a bunch of frunk ducks?
I'm gonna say they're close enough to Germany to say yes. But I think you're being a little stereotypical there with Canadian beers. We're not America, where it's just the standard, everybody's making a lager. This is a very nice beer. It's a 7%. I'd say it's wintry. I'd say a lot of Belgian beers are higher percent, at least the ones that we import, just because they're more different from the things we have in Canada. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of special ingredients in there, like you mentioned, sort of pumpkins. Trappist will be known for putting a lot of variety of small bits of a lot of ingredients.
Can you think of any food pairings?
Well, I always love pretzels.
Well, I should kick you right in the face.
I think pretzels are great with beer. I mean, the salt sort of cuts the flavor a little bit, so you're ready for your next beer, and the bread soaks it up a little bit, so you can actually keep enjoying your beer.
I'm talking about actual food, like, what would you have this at the dinner table?
Snacky stuff.
No, I mean, like snacky stuff, you could say pretzels or edamame, or, anything that you find in a bar, really. I'm thinking you could pair this with a nice Thanksgiving meal, like, you could give this to, right before a pumpkin pie, you could,
leaning to the end of dinner.
Yeah, like, I'm very fall for this beer. I've fallen for this beer.
I'd say it's a good dessert beer, depending on what you're having for dessert, or fish.
I think you ought to go into more detail.
I would definitely drink this with fish for the halibut. Yes.
Super classy beer. Let's see. Orval is a Trappist beer. We discussed this a little bit earlier. Trappist means brewed by monasteries and monks. Barely ever exports.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Trappist beers. They're not actually that exported much. And if they are, it's more of an exclusive thing. And a lot of newspapers and articles will say, hey, pick up this beer. It's not going to be here for a while. So I actually bought this beer knowing that it's not probably going to be in Ontario for quite a while. And I actually thought I missed it. I was just glad that I saw it on the shelves. There were 4 left.
Full Chev.
Yeah, it was 4
something
left.
that you might need.
4 left on the shelf, and they were just looking lonesome right there. So I said, I can't leave any of them
Better all
behind. Better pick them all up. So I'm really glad I did. It's a great beer. What are your final thoughts on it? What would you grade this in your beer scale?
You know what? I'm a big fall guy. I love fall. I love pumpkin spice and cardamom. This is pretty high up there. Like
7% isn't bad too. Like that's
how are we doing the grading scale? Are we doing it like out of 10 or?
Yeah,
like
I'd say one.
You know what? Let's do it out of 5. 10 is too detailed.
No, it's not detailed.
You know what? I'd say 4. I'd say 4 out of 5. Around 80% awesome. Super classy, super rare. You're almost never gonna find this unless they're doing special event exporting from Belgium. It reminds me of West Lateran 12, which is a beer we had a little bit earlier in the season. Also kind of dark, much darker than this. Also a Trappist beer. Trappist, God, man, monks, monasteries, they make some of the best.
If it says Trappist, buy it and try it. You're not going to see it again.
You're never going to see it again. Never going to see it again.
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah?
I would actually, if I ever see this again, I probably won't, I will buy it. I'll buy as many as
Next time you see it, I'll make a pumpkin pie.
Got it. And I'll make some fish. That's my pairing.
Oh, just for the
halibut. Remember these things.
Right. Just for the halibut. Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to sit through this. We're Shez and Phil, and this has been Beer Buddies.
You got that backwards, buddy.
Close enough.
Phil and Shez.
We're Frunk as Duck, and I hope you are too. Good night.